Conversations with Garmamie, the 2021 edition of the Bootstrap Awards are back. Make sure you nominate your Bootstrap heroes before midnight on March 31st. Visit the website. That's theottawanetwork.com/Bootstrap Awards. Speaking of heroes and Bootstrap Award winners, we've got Jason Daley, who's a serial entrepreneur, who's joining us here. How you doing, Jason?
I'm doing well, and thank you. It's glad that you're giving a shout out. This is what it's all about. We got to recognize entrepreneurs that are getting through a very tough last year. Pandemic has just shown such resilience in our entrepreneurship ecosystem. Yeah,
for sure. And I appreciate your time. And I would like to know a little bit more about this award. Tell us what are we celebrating here?
What we're celebrating is the inspiration of the founders and the founding team to go pursue a problem and give solutions that they're trying to bring to market. So that means their passion and the fuel, wherever they dig down into their guts to say, I need to make this reality. And they do it with a lot of limited resources too. And that's the bootstrap nature of it, is that their pursuit of an idea to bring to market is all fueled from an insight in their mind that they're going to manifest into reality, which is so awe-inspiring. And I got to say, I can't wait to review all the applications once they come in, because as a board member, that's the one thing is a true treasure is we get to see the submissions, and they come from all over the ecosystem. You know, you can also self-nominate as well, and I recommend it because if you're not telling your own story, no one else is going to know it. So this is just another avenue to do that. Yeah.
Very interesting. And I could see you got really excited when you were talking about and it's great. And it's great. I'd like to know, can you paint the context as to how this award series was started? Give us the why it began. I think you somewhat answered it, but just give us a history.
Well, I guess the history is important. It was founded by Dr. Bruce Firestone, and he had an Explorium Entrepreneurs Network, and it was somewhat of an incubation type community. And he held these Bootstrap Awards on an annual basis with a dinner and the nomination process. And it was something that was really appreciated. When he decided that he was going to cease the operations of doing so, I was on the Ottawa Network board at the time. It's been a good long while now. I thought that was such a valuable contribution to our Ottawa ecosystem that we need to carry this forward. And we made an arrangement to take on the whole project, and the licensing appropriateness it was nominal. It was really about carrying through that purpose, sharing stories and recognizing the hard work of our entrepreneurs. And so that has been with the Ottawa Network now, I think for 4 or 5 years. Maybe we'll have to double check that, but it just seems like a continuation for me that I get to go out and find the great stories and share them. And one of the things we do at the Ottawa Network that is important is we also do bi-monthly demo nights, and we get to give the first opportunity for founders to share their experience, their technology, and get feedback. Very friendly founder to founder type friendly feedback. And that is where we learn the stories throughout the year. So it's not just once a year that we take in these nominations. We're curating them by having presentations done, and we welcome people to explore those. There's no cost, and that's where you discover the great ideas.
Now, Jason, the awards, this award is about celebrating self-capitalized businesses in the National Capital Region that have bootstrapped their growth to achieve commercial success. To those who don't know what bootstrapping means, can you kind of elaborate as to what that means?
Yeah, fantastic question. Bootstrapping is really at the heart of how you use your own capital, and those are maybe some of your early supporters, be it friends, families, or other, and you're not taking on professional venture money. So it's the inspiration that moves to perspiration. That's those two elements of what a bootstrap is, entrepreneur. And we want to celebrate that, because if we didn't, you wouldn't have the same entrepreneurial appetite, and we need great ideas. Now is a time that innovation needs to be put forward to solve the world's largest problems. And this last year just shown we have so many fragile points in our businesses and our supply chains that we need great ideas. And it starts with a bootstrap entrepreneur taking that first step.
But I noticed you mentioned story, the fact that business owners, entrepreneurs have to share their story. You mentioned that word about 4 times, I believe. Can you tell us why it's so important to pitch and to tell your business's story?
It's imperative that you will often take the idea and internalize it. But the only way to expressly get the resources and to get the support is when you share an outward dialogue, be it through a pitch, through a demo, through a narrative, through content on your site, and so that people can get involved and interested, engaged, and offer you the support you need to move forward. So that's why it's important. By sharing your story, you're inviting those to come on your journey and offer supports. And that's what a bootstrap entrepreneur has to be really skillful at. And it doesn't need to be a skill right at the top. It's a process of continuing to do so, refining it, and really seeking the emotional heart of why you're doing it. And that's ultimately where I advise people, said, if you're going to go into business, really get passionate about the problem, and the solution will come from the interaction and conversation with customers and with the community giving you feedback. So there you go. That's why you need to share stories.
Now, can you tell us your story as to how you got into business? And because you're also a former recipient of the awards, you've won it a few times, and you're also a former recipient of Ottawa's Top 40 Under 40. So you've got quite the experience and the acumen. So tell us your story. How did you get into business?
I appreciate that. And I got to say, I wasn't expecting that to share my story, but of course it's important. I got started in high tech in the 2000s boom of mostly in telecom, and I had the express interest to learn all things around taking a business to growth. And I was certainly not as experienced as I've learned that it's not an easy process and that it's not a template. I was mentored, and that was the key thing that I've taken forward is I mentor and I seek mentors. And my journey started around 2007 when I started doing innovation consulting after finishing some of the work I did in telco. I worked in cyber, I worked in telecom, I worked in the content and live interaction website company. So these are 4 different pivotal transformative technologies. And then I said, no, what? I'm going to help others do this. I'm going to jump in from consulting basis, and I'm going to take that way and manner of business and try and apply it to the beginning entrepreneur and provide more skillful execution, the acumen needed to get the ideas moving forward. And at the same time, the advent of the business model canvas, the value prop, and no code, low code software, all these things started to be available, really reducing the cost of starting up a business. So I focus on also the value proposition, because that will never change. You can have a great idea, but if it's not something valuable that consumer customer is wishing to exchange, then you got nothing. So fast forward to now, what I do is I work expressly with startups in transformative technology, which was different when I started as a consultant. I was doing advisory for mompreneurs because I didn't have any customer base. And some of the first ones referred to me, I had to throw out the book. Nothing in the blue chip business that I'd learned in the high tech world was applicable. So that's where I really focused down on what is valuable, what do customers need, how do you efficiently get that product over to them. And that means a whole host of things. It just refined my approach. And now I work in high tech communities, not only just in Ottawa. I have my business working with a company out of Colorado, another one in Washington, which is exciting. It's an AI machine learning company that looks at risk. So I get involved with the founder and take the journey with them. I climb that hill, I rise with them, and I invest not only my time, acumen, but also my money at different stages where it's necessary to grow the company.
Right on. And it's interesting because I was looking at the awards. There's so many. You mentioned this from the top. There's so many different categories. There's 8. There's the Green Award, the Innovation Award, the Software as a Service Award, the Marketing Award, the Bootstrap Capital Award, the Disruptor Award, the Community Impact Award, and the Founder of the Year Award. And for you, you're very integrated in the community, and you understand some of the challenges of being an entrepreneur and some of the opportunities. Now, why should someone submit a nomination? Why should you, and you mentioned this from the top, that people can self-nominate. How would you convince someone to self-nominate for this award?
Well, one, it's not that much effort. 2, the more crisp your description is to share your story, that's better in all your communications that you need to do business further. So, and then we provide you a platform and we amplify your story throughout the whole ecosystem, and it gets picked up. You're getting the basis of a whole ecosystem of partners and stakeholders taking a look. How else are you going to be able to have everyone take notice if you don't put your hand up and say, I have a story to tell, and here's mine.
Now, Jason, you deal with so many different people in the community, and I can tell I don't know you. This is my first time interacting with you. You seem like a very positive person. You got a lot of energy, and I have a big question for you, and I'm sure a lot of people might ask you this. What advice do you have for any sort of like emerging entrepreneur, be it a university student, be it a recent newcomer to the country, be it someone who's making a transition from working in, say, the public sector and wanting to transition into the private sector? What sort of advice, if there was one key piece of advice you would offer, and I know there's probably a zillion, but for you, based on your experience, what's that one piece of advice you would provide these people?
Yeah,
I know it's different profiles and all. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think the one idea when you're asking the question that came to light, and it's something that I really look for when I'm trying to ascertain whether to work with an entrepreneur. And I welcome anyone who watches this, if they want to have a check-in chat with me, I offer that courtesy just to help people bounce their ideas off. And it's basically look for the thing that you're passionate and interested about, the thing that people are willing to pay for, and the value you can deliver. So that means value that you probably have from your own experience or something that you know well enough. That overlap of those 3 things, there's actually a Japanese term for it that maybe you can look it up. I think it's ikami. And enjoy your work. Have some fun. It can't be too laborious where you don't want to get up in the day and get at it. You want to be able to say, hey, that's it. Those moments of aha, that's the other thing. You say, look for moments of aha. That will inspire your day to move you forward.
Right on. Well, Jason, thank you very much for your time. And if anyone is watching, of course, they have until March 31st to submit their nominations. So make sure you visit theottawanetwork.com/bootstrap awards and make your nomination or submit someone for it. This is going to be a very special year because, as you mentioned, it's been a pandemic year and many businesses have had to, I hate to use this word over and over again, pivot and be creative. But Jason, thank you very much for your time. And where can we find you online if anyone has any questions or wants to connect?
Yeah, I'm through the Ottawa Network website. I do have personal connections on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter using Biz Daily. But it's not about me. It's about the entrepreneur, and it's about our organization, the Ottawa Network. We just want to reverberate back to the community that we have a healthy ecosystem, and any one of my board members are available to anyone who's looking for supports.
Awesome. Thank you very much for your time, sir. Have a good day.
Thanks so much. Have a great day.